We start with a live look outside on this Monday morning as we get ready to start a brand new week. Looks like, well, it's dark and early out there, Lindsay, but are we going to see the sunshine? Hopefully a little bit. It's 6 o'clock on 13 Sunrise. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Justin Groven for Julia Moffett.
And yeah, the sun, we did see a lot of it this weekend. Did you get out and enjoy it?
Oh yeah, get out and enjoyed a walk?
Yeah. Eventually, yesterday. I mean, yesterday morning was
Get a
rough.
little warm up a little bit.
It helped soften the blow a little bit because it was so cold this weekend, Lindsay, but going in the right direction now.
We are trending up. Hopefully you enjoyed 64 degrees Friday, and then that transitioned to about 18. It was rough, and now this is this time of year. We just get a lot of ups and downs as we're transitioning out of the core of the winter months, trying to get into the spring mood. It does take some time for everything to kind of balance out. And right now, 28 degrees is the current temperature in Indianapolis. That is actually the average low temperature for this time of year. So we're kind of right on track where we should be. It's 37 over in St. Louis, though, and Kansas City is at 42. So we've got some slightly more mild temperatures back to our west as the core of that colder air continues to track off to the northeast. So we're going to see a change in wind direction today, more so coming in out of the south-southeast, and that's going to help us out to warm things up eventually today. In the meantime, though, this is a live look up in Carmel. We've had a few clouds lingering, but temperatures have continued to drop. Right now, it's just 26 up in Carmel. We've got 28 degrees currently at downtown. It's still the cold spot over in Richmond at 21. And Muncie's been pretty consistent, sitting right there at that 30-degree mark. Now, temperatures, they're up in a pretty big way from 24 hours ago, and this is going to set the trend for an overall warmer day. 17 degrees, that's the temperature increase in the past 24 hours up in Lafayette. Muncie to Kokomo up by 15. How today plays out, we are looking at a mix of sun and clouds as we approach that 50-degree mark for a high. This will be a dry day, but of course, we've got some widespread heavy rain possible for your Tuesday. We're going to get you updated on that timeline coming up in the full forecast. As we approach 6:02, want to get you back out to the traffic center. Things have been pretty quiet so far this morning, so that's some good news, but we want to keep you updated on this closure you can anticipate on the near north side. Now, this has been delayed by about a week, so we've been talking about this for quite some time. Was supposed to wrap up by March 6th, but now not going to wrap up, at least on schedule, until March 12th. So it's that stretch of Capitol Avenue between 16th and 14th Streets. They're doing that hospital construction there. They've got to do some underground work with some of those operations as that construction zone expands. So just keep in mind, that's a southbound stretch of Capitol. So that means you'll want an alternate route going southbound, and I would recommend Meridian Street as that primary route while that closure is ongoing. We're going to monitor the roads, let you know if we see any new accidents or delays through your morning, guys.
Lindsay, thank you. Now to our top story this hour, and man, it's a tough one. A family and a community mourning the loss of a talented football player killed in a weekend crash. Many are taking time this morning to remember the life of 18-year-old Mason Alexander.
A lot of his classmates. He was a recent graduate of Hamilton Southeastern High School. He was set to play football at the University of Pittsburgh this fall. Let's get to Matthew Fultz, who's following more on this devastating loss. Good morning, Matthew.
Yeah, good morning to you both. It's certainly impacting the entire community right now, and entire country for that matter. It's just an incredible loss in Hamilton County. And we do know that Mason graduated early and was set to play at the University of Pittsburgh. And he was also listed in ESPN's top 300 recruiting prospects for this year. Now, the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office tells 13 News that the crash happened Saturday night around 9 o'clock near Southeastern Parkway and I-69. Deputies say the car Mason was a passenger and was heading south on Florida Road from 113th Street. That's when the car got into the northbound lane to pass another car while going over a hill. The car swerved back into the lane to avoid hitting an oncoming SUV, but then overcorrected. The car slid off the road and hit a tree before catching fire. Deputies say Mason died at the scene. 13 News spoke to his uncle, who says it was one of the worst accidents he's ever seen, and it's now a tough time for the entire family.
He was looking forward to coming back and walking in his graduation, which that won't happen now. And he was also looking to take his girlfriend to the prom, and that won't happen now. So where do you start? It's heartbreaking. It's heart-wrenching. And we're devastated. We really are.
Yeah, certainly a tough time. You just feel for that entire family and community. Jalea and Dustin. And we do know that HSC will have crisis teams available today throughout the day for students and staff to come back to school. We also know they plan to honor him later this evening at the football field. But coming up at 6:30, you'll hear more from Mason's new coach, what would have been his new coach at the University of Pitt, and how they're coping this morning through all of this.
Boy, when you read through the social media posts and the messages, it is clear this young man made quite a mark, quite an impact on the lives he touched. We'll see you at 6:30. Thank you.
Well, this morning, IMPD is investigating a shooting on the Indy's near North Side where one man was found dead. This is at an apartment complex there.
Yeah, this was at the Hub on Nora Apartments. It's on Lake Nora Court North, which is near 96th and College Avenue. Happened around 2 a.m. yesterday. Police found a man dead from a gunshot wound. Detectives say they believe this is an isolated incident between people who know each other. So far, they have not shared any details, though, about what led to that gunfire.
And a young girl is receiving some treatment this morning after a shooting on Indy's east side. We know this happened just before midnight Saturday on East 34th Place. That's near 38th and Franklin. So that's where officers found this girl who had been shot. She was taken to the hospital at last check in stable condition. We don't know how old she is exactly or if police has a possible suspect in her shooting or possible motive. So we are reaching back out to IMPD this morning to hopefully get some more info for you. Well, the last few days, unfortunately, have been violent around Indianapolis. In fact, there were several shootings Friday night that ended with 2 people killed.
They all happened within just an hour of each other. Let's take you to the place where it began. This was 9 o'clock Friday night at a Texas Roadhouse restaurant near Southport and Emerson. Metro Police tell us a fight inside the restaurant spilled out into the parking lot. IMPD says a 34-year-old man shot and killed another man. An off-duty officer was eating inside at the time. He quickly arrested the suspect after following them outside.
Yeah, about 20 minutes later, officers were called here to this area, Brookside Park, for a reported shooting. And that's where they did find a man who had been shot. IMPD says that person is in critical condition at last check.
And minutes after that, police were called to a crash near West 62nd Street and Georgetown. And when they got there, they found one person dead from apparent gunshot wounds. Investigators say they think he was shot a mile down the road at a gas station.
So there have been nearly 30 homicides so far this year. And while that number is lower at this point in the year than we've seen in recent years, community leaders say the city still needs to find some new ways to stop this violence.
A lot of groups are doing a lot of good things out there. We got to keep doing that. And the courts and the prosecutor has to keep holding repeat violent offenders accountable. If we do, we're going to see a better year in 2025.
And police are asking for answers in a lot of these cases. So if you have any information about these shootings, Crime Stoppers would like to hear from you, or you can reach out to police directly.
6:07 is the time now. Happening today, a convicted serial killer will be sentenced for an Indianapolis murder. Bruce Mendenhall was convicted back in January for the 2007 murder of Karma Purpura. She was killed at the Flying J truck stop at 465 and Harding on the south side. Mendenhall is already serving 2 life sentences for killing 2 other women in Tennessee. Police think he could be responsible for killing 9 women across several states. A Perry Meridian High School student is now facing felony charges after Metro Police say he brought a semi-automatic rifle to school.
According to a police report, officers arrested that 18-year-old Thursday afternoon. And Perry Meridian's principal says that administrators were investigating reports of vaping in the restroom when they identified a possible student.
He says when school police, IMPD, and a canine searched that student's car, they found a weapon, 6 rounds of ammo, and what they call a significant amount of marijuana. The team now faces preliminary charges of dealing marijuana, carrying a handgun on school property, and possession of a firearm on school property.
Well, on this Monday morning, lawmakers are heading back to the State House today. Before their break, the House did pass its version of a new 2-year state budget.
Yeah, so let's show you some of the highlights of what this budget includes so far. We're talking $46 billion. It would include a 5% spending cut, though, for almost every state agency. It would expand school vouchers to all Hoosiers. K through 12 education would see a 2% yearly increase in funding. The income tax rate would drop over the next 2 years, and the income tax deduction would double for low-income seniors.
Now, critics wanted to see bigger increases in areas like public education, and they wanted to see something done about people who are on wait lists for Medicaid.
Moving backwards on the child care crisis, not forwards.
I'm voting against the budget today because I do not believe it is the best path we can set our state on.
It's just been really hard, and I think it's going to get tougher as we go into the second half. We've got to do some things creatively to make sure that we're sustainable.
So this is far from being a done deal right now. As again, we are going into the second half of the session, so the Senate starts its work on the budget bill over the next few weeks, and we'll keep you updated. Let's talk about the Pacers this morning. Aaron Nesmith had quite a night. If you haven't heard the highlights already, he scored a career-high 27 points as the Pacers were beating the Chicago Bulls last night.
Yeah, this was a big one because every Pacers star put up double digits against the Bulls last night in the 127-112 win. Tyrese Halliburton had his 5th straight double-double with 17 points and 12 assists.
Let's keep it going. Pacers are really hot right now. They have a record of 18-7 so far in 2025, and they are back at home again, Gainbridge Fieldhouse tomorrow night. They're playing the Houston Rockets. Tip-off for that one is at 7.
All right, let's keep it going.
That's right. Well, it's 6:10. Just days after his clash with President Trump at the White House, Ukraine's President Zelensky says that he's ready to sign that rare minerals deal with the U.S. We'll tell you the reason behind the change in his decision.
We've got that and a growing danger in the southeast. Look at this. These wildfires spreading across parts of the Carolinas. We've got the latest on firefighting efforts this morning to get it under control.
And we're going to increase our chances for rain, and hopefully some of this does make it to the Carolinas. A dry day today, mix of sun and clouds, but showers become widespread tomorrow morning with very heavy rain possible Tuesday evening. I've got the latest timeline and what you can anticipate for these rain chances over the next couple days.